Hey there, welcome to Destructoid. I'm Tara Long.
And I'm Max Scoville. Now, hopefully you guys have seen our glowing Skyrim review video already and probably read a bunch of other ones and watched some other ones, probably while touching yourself. One day left, but we still have more to talk about.
Indeed we do. Now, obviously Skyrim is the type of game that creates a completely different experience for every player depending on where you go and what you do and what decisions you make. So we decided to invite Destructoid's reviews editor, Jim Sterling, on the show to talk with us a little bit about his experience. Jim, welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Hello, not at all. Welcome to it.
So you just put up your review of Skyrim this morning on the website, correct? What are your overall impressions?
Well, as you can tell from the review, they are incredibly glowing, to the point where I'm thinking that is my game of the year. I think it's done, and it only in November as well, so that's a nice early pick.
I'm hard-pressed to find people who have any negative things to say about it whatsoever. I have like 2, maybe 3 minor gripes, and even that, it's like you're almost like forcing yourself to pick something just so it doesn't look like you're like getting paid to talk about the game. But it really is that awesome. So tell us a little bit about your character, because I think we discussed this on PodToid, but you have a completely different character than the one that Max and I created.
Yeah, I've got a battle mage at the moment. I wanted to try out a little of everything, as is a reviewer's designation, what he's got to do. Try a little of everything. So I've got a conjurer, essentially, who also is pretty strong with destruction magic and also one-handed swords. So the general MO of any battle I have is to summon a demon from the Plane of Oblivion, send him in, I hang back, toss fireballs in there, and then when the guy's really weak, I run in and finish him off with the sword and just run him through, usually with a very, very brutal and very gorgeous looking execution animation. So it's a pretty good thing, and the best thing about Skyrim I found is that if your build has any weaknesses, it's up to you to find a way around that. So I found out that my battle mage was a glass cannon essentially at first. Like, he could deal some pretty damn good damage from a distance, but if they got too close, I was dead, essentially. I was slaughtered. So whacked on a load of heavy armor and sunk not a load of points into it, but just took a few skill points aside and put it into the Juggernaut perk, which is the first heavy armor perk on its skill tree, just to bump up the defense value. So now I'm basically a walking battalion because I'm summoning like a mini army of demons plus the fireballs, and then if anything gets too close I can easily switch, and since I've got the destruction magic I can put on Flame Cloak, which ignites my entire body so that anyone who attacks me has to basically fight a man on fire and get caught on fire themselves. Plus I've got my sword in my hand, so I can, it's a really versatile guy. Obviously every character has downsides. I mean, I don't want people to think, I can just make a big tank and not worry about anything. Like my guy, I sunk nothing into stamina. So this guy is essentially like me. He can do a lot of damage, but he can't run. So it's, he's like got only the starting stamina, so he can't carry a lot of stuff. It's got that limitation. He's slow moving. So if a guy comes up and fights me, I'm not going to be able to run away very effectively if I do end up on a losing side of a battle.
I have a question. In the game you have dragon shouts, which you learn by sucking up dragon souls and then learning words of power, and you also have scrolls, which you can use sort of like single-use spells. Which of those are your favorites? I mean, which of each? What's your favorite dragon shout? What's your favorite scroll?
My favorite dragon shout has to be the whirlwind, because that negates a little bit of my stamina issue. The whirlwind is, it's actually one of the ones, it's not one of the ones you can discover in the world. If you do the main quest line, you'll stumble upon it. What happens is that if you perform that thoom, as we sages call it, you will rush forward at a really rapid pace. So you cover a lot of ground really quickly. Obviously, those things recharge, so it's not like I can just whiz around like the Flash the whole time. You can just like, I need to get from A to B really quickly, and it just closes a bit of that ground. So
that one was really fun. I enjoyed that one too, just because you feel genuinely powerful using that. You're just boom.
Sorry for the video delay, you guys. We seem to be having some Skype issues, but we can hear fine, so that's all that matters.
Skype
right? So, Jim, you sunk over 50 hours into the game, right? So you've seen
thus far.
a lot of it. What is the absolute best thing you saw in the game so far? Anything. Can be anything.
My favorite thing, and to talk about it is to run the risk of spoilers, but there is a character called Cicero, who is a jester, who is carrying you first see him carting a coffin around in like somewhere in the world map, and his mother's inside it, and you have to help him. It's like, oh, get poor Cicero, it's a wheel for his wagon. And it's quite an amusing little thing, but the stuff with Cicero sort of grows if you again, like all this stuff is so, nothing's inevitable. Like if you don't go to a certain place, there is stuff in that game you'll never see, but if you go down a particular path, then you will see more of this character. And he is just fantastic. I love him so much. Not only because he's just a very funny character, but if you, again, go down a particular quest line, you get to learn a lot about him, and he's got this incredibly dark backstory. And all I will say is that there is an opportunity in the game where you can make a certain choice with this character, and I urge you all to make the right one, because you won't regret it.
Okay, well that's good. It's funny you say that actually, because I focused mostly on doing the main quest line, and Max handled side quests and stuff, but it was so hard staying on task with the main quest line, because a lot of my time was just spent, roaming the mountainside on horseback, and you want to explore every little thing that you come upon, but it's hard to tear yourself away sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, just to get the review done, I can't say I beat the game, but I beat the main quest, which isn't even as epic as some of the quests in there. There are even bigger, more ambitious ones than the main one. But after 50 hours, I still have 40 quests open in my game journal right now. That's including like the miscellaneous ones, because there's ones where you can just roll up into a tavern and you're like, have you got any jobs? And they're like, oh, the Jarl's men came by, they left this bounty, and they give it to you and you go and kill a dude.
Why are there Jamaican guys in the game?
Oh yeah, that's where it's set. It's in snowy Jamaica. And those quests, like the bounty contracts and like go kill a certain dragon on a certain mountain, they're infinite. They will just appear procedurally, and they might involve characters you've met before, and the game itself will build that. So what's I say? I mean, I've got like 20 officially scripted quests open right now, and then a further 24 like miscellaneous radiant. That's the name of the system they've got, the radiant system, which procedurally generates quests. I've got 24 of those open, which ranges from anything to burgle this house to assassinate this person. So there's too much. It's
a big game.
Stressful, but it's great. Like, it's a great stress.
All right, well, I'm glad you enjoyed the game as much as we did. Thanks for coming on the show, Jim, to talk about it. If you guys haven't read his full review yet, go check it out on Destructoid.com and go watch our video review that we put up this morning. And as a reminder, we're going to be answering your Skyrim questions all day long, so just leave a comment on this video and hit us up on Facebook at facebook.com/DTOID or tweet at us at twitter.com/DTOID, and we will answer your Skyrim questions, and it will be done. And that's it. Thanks again for joining us, Jim, and thank you guys for watching.
Bye, guys.